through here. Okay. All right. Well, let me share my. Can you enable me sharing my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Judgy, now I think you would be able to share your screen.
Perfect. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. It's so funny, as much as I use Zoom, I still I still try to figure out what I'm doing in here. All right, so you should be seeing my screen. There's a background of a kind of work area, student area with some blue bubbles. That,
yeah.
Do you guys see that? Okay. All right. So without ado, oh my God, sorry. I don't know what just happened. Sorry, give me a quick second. I'm not sure what just happened right now with my screen. Let me try again. All right. All right. We're good? Perfect. All right, let us start.
Study in Washington, D.C. at Bay Atlantic University. We are a new generation university where your coursework will always reflect the ever-changing demands of current industries. Where you concentrate your studies on globally high-demanding industries with a focused curriculum. Where you study in the heart of the nation's capital, providing you the opportunity to work with some of the most prominent NGOs, government agencies, and private organizations. Where we use our resources to offer more scholarships and reasonable tuition rates, allowing the possibility for students to graduate debt-free. Where you will be surrounded by distinguished professors from prestigious international organizations. At Bay Atlantic University, education has no borders, so you can study abroad at a variety of campuses around the world. Come to Washington, D.C. Apply now.
Perfect. If there's one thing that I want everybody to take away from that video, is that we are a global institution. We are actually one of the largest private nonprofit global education enterprises in the world, with campuses from Hong Kong all the way to Vancouver. I see a raised hand. Any questions? Okay, I'll continue. So we're a very, very large global institution. And one of the things that I tell everybody when they start applying here at BAU in Washington, DC is, when you apply to Washington, DC, you're not just a DC student, you're actually a global BAU student. So when you think of your network, when you think of once you graduate, your alumni network, your alumni network is not going to be just Washington, DC. It's actually going to be, global BAU and tens of thousands of people that graduate every year. And that's really, really important nowadays, because we all know the best way to get a job is through your networks, and your networks start with your school, right? I don't know how many of you are on LinkedIn, but if you're on LinkedIn and you see, in the job section, always it will tell you right at the bottom of the job description how many people and their names graduated from the same school that you graduated from, right? So if you were to graduate from BAU, and you see a job for Google, you would see at the bottom there how many BAU students are already working at Google, or BAU alumni are already working at Google and what their roles are. So you can contact them directly and say, hey, I'm a fellow BAU graduate. I'm really interested in working for Google. I want to know, can you take a look at my resume, or how do you apply, or what's the best way to actually get the job? And that's very, very important. The other most important thing that I wanted you to take out of that video is that what we offer here is affordable quality education. The goal of our institution is to make education affordable, and attainable for everybody in the world. And that comes from our founder, Mba Program. I see, and I have a picture here. He started out in 1974. Actually, he was a math teacher, and he started realizing that education is a very, very powerful tool, not just in terms of spreading knowledge, but in terms of spreading peace through education. And he made that a goal for his life. And I mean, here we are, what is it, about 40, almost 50 years later, he was able to build a global educational network. We do, and I know Sheena said that at the beginning, that we do provide a lot of scholarships. And a lot of those scholarships actually come from Mba Program's personal budgets, right? From his personal foundation. Last year alone, we gave close to about $5.2 million in scholarships. And those scholarships, like I said, they're not from the US government, they're not loans. These are scholarships coming directly from our founder, because he believes in making sure that education is affordable and attainable for everybody, regarding of where you're from and what your economical situation is, right? He's recognized globally, and actually right now, one of the things that he's working on is improving access to education in Africa, because his belief is that, through improved education, you also improve, the economical situation, and also the political and kind of warfare situation in the African continent. So he was actually a guest at the UN to talk specifically about his work in Africa, and we're very proud of his work. But also it's also part of our DNA as well. And you'll see when we work with you guys that our goal is to make sure that your students are able to attend here. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll continue. All right, this is one of my favorite slides to talk about. Everybody talks about how great their school is. And everybody talks about, shows the best pictures of their school. What I like to show is actually our numbers, because at the end of the day, the health of the school is based on the numbers. Our graduation rate is 90%. To kind of give you an idea of what that means, the average graduation rate for a university is around 60 to 65%. And what makes this a great institution is the fact that our students are able to graduate, attend here, and then actually graduate from here in very, very large numbers. That shows a few things. It shows that, one, that they're taken care of. It shows that they are happy to be here. And it also is a testament to the quality of education we provide here. Two other important factors is our employment rate and our retention rate. These are done through yearly surveys that we do with our students. Again, employment is very, very, very important, because as we all know, most people attend college as a step towards the work, the career, and the life that they want, right? So it's just a stepping stone. It's not a goal in and of itself. And if you have a high employment rate, that also means that your diploma is highly respected in the industry. We are a small institution. One thing that I tell all of our students, and I think it's important for you to tell your students as well, that we are not a huge campus with 20, 40, 50, 100 different buildings where it takes you a half hour to go from one building to the next. And that's part of our DNA as well, because we believe in making sure that our students, our teachers, and our administration are always constantly in touch and communicating with each other, right? So as you walk through the hallways of our buildings or of our building, you'll run into the president all the time. When you actually, if you guys were to visit, and I'd love for you to come and visit, when you walk into the building, you actually get to walk through my office and Alex's office. So at least twice a day, you get to run into me and you get to run into Alex. So whatever issues students have, there's always at least 2 opportunities every day for those issues to be taken care of, right? And that's very important to us. And that's why, our school is designed that way. Now, the next question is going to be, okay, great. You talked about the building, Jerry, but where is it? It's at the heart of Washington, D.C. We actually share a lawn with the White House. We share a park called Lafayette Park with the White House. So as students come down the building and they're sitting and eating lunch, they're eating lunch right in front of the White House. It's very centrally located. It's connected with metro systems, at least 4 different metro lines. There's buses. We also have a bus that takes you to our student housing area, and I'll talk about that as well, because this is also one thing that is important that we have that a lot of institutions where we are don't offer, which is student housing. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the meat of this presentation and one of the most important things that students want to know about. What are the programs that we offer and what makes us a great choice? So first and foremost, I'm really, really proud to say that our master's in cybersecurity actually this year got recognized as one of the top 50 best masters in the United States by intelligent.com, which is a website dedicated to student resources. We're actually ranked number 34 out of the top 50, and we're very proud because we're able to actually rank higher than a lot of big institutions that we compete with. So that's very exciting. Another important fact that I'm looking forward to actually getting ranked is our MBA program. Our MBA program is actually the second largest MBA program in the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia, and that's very important because the District of Columbia actually has the highest concentration of higher ed universities, of higher ed institutions in the country. If you think about, where we are and the universities that surround us, you have George Washington, you have Georgetown, you have American University, you have Catholic University of America, you have Trinity, you have University of Potomac, you have George Mason. I mean, there are an insane amount of big name institutions around here. And for us to have the second largest MBA program is also a testament to the recognition of the programs that we have to offer. Now, one of the things that we try to do is we try not to be everything to everybody, because that's the fastest way to fail. So we focus on things that we know how to do best. And those are the top 3 things that we do best are business program, computer science programs, and IT programs. On the undergraduate side, we have accounting, economics and finance, business administration. We have a political science and international relations degree, and then we have an information technology and data science program. On the graduate side, we have our MBA program, which is divided into 3 main areas: entrepreneurship, global affairs, and economics and finance. And then we have 2 Master of Science, one in big data and one in cybersecurity. One of the things that our team does, specifically our academic team does all the time, is they always looking into different areas of growth. They're looking into trends, and they're also interested in they're looking into other things that we can develop here that would be beneficial to our students. One of the things that is also very, very important is that we are currently in the process of actually becoming accredited, or we're in the process of applying for accreditation with the New England Commission for Higher Education. This is the same accrediting body that accredits Yale, Harvard, and all of the Ivy League institutions in the Northeast. They came and visited our school a couple of months ago, did a thorough view of everything that we offer here. And that was a very, very, very positive outcome. So hopefully what we're looking forward to is that by next October, we would be in the same ranking and in the same accreditation as some of the biggest educational names in the world. And I'm very, very excited about that because our team has been doing a really, really good job to make sure that we actually get this achievement. So what that means is, a year from now, your students would be graduating from a university that has the same high level of accreditation as some of the biggest educational brands in the world. All right, let's talk about an important part, and it is career opportunities. As an international student, you have the opportunity for an OPT and a CPT. You can work on campus as well. And one of the things that we do, for example, in my team, most of the people that work in my team are actually students, both undergraduate and graduate students. And the type of work that I provide to them, that I give them to do, is actual project management, type of jobs that they would actually do in real life after graduating. So they actually get to do high level important work while they're currently students here. All right, now let's talk about tuition and scholarships. So our tuition for undergrad is $15,900 a year, and it's $7,950 per semester. Now, we also offer housing. Housing is $950 a month. However, because of COVID, that actually is half now. So it's about $475. We also do have transportation that takes you from our school to our student housing. So when we talk about our tuition, $15,900, one thing that I want you to keep in mind is compare it to one of the universities that is, just a couple of blocks from us, GW University, George Washington. Their tuition is $54,000 a year. Okay. So for almost what you pay there 1 year, you get a 4-year degree here at BAU. On the graduate side is $18,000 a year. So $36,000, a 2-year program, right? And it's $9,000 per semester. Again, housing doesn't change. It's $450 or $475 per semester, and it ranges from $450 to about $550, depending on the type of room that you like to choose. And we'll talk about that more in detail as well. There are a few different scholarships that we have available. We have a merit-based scholarship that's available. And again, if your students have taken the SAT, the GMAT, the GRE, they can apply for a merit-based scholarship, and it's from 1% to 100%. Another scholarship that's available, it's our Hussein Yücel scholarship, which is up to 25% tuition in reduction in tuition. And that's open to international students. So when you're applying, when your students applying, make sure they select either the Hussein Yücel scholarship, which is up to 25% tuition reduction, or the merit-based scholarships if they have a lot of this stuff. Okay, give me a second. I'll come with you. Sorry, my 5-year-old decided he wanted some snacks. That's what happens when you work from home. Apologize for that. But on the Hussein Yücel scholarship is up to 25%. You cannot combine the scholarship. So you cannot combine both the merit-based scholarship and the Hussein Yücel scholarship. But you can either pick one or the other. In terms of the admissions process, it's pretty straightforward, both for an undergraduate program and a graduate program. You need a copy of high school transcripts, you need your application form, photo government ID, 2 letters of recommendation, and an essay. If you are applying for a scholarship, you also need a scholarship essay. And the topics will be provided on the scholarship essay as well. It's really, really important that each student follows these specific guidelines. You need 2 letters of recommendation. Both have to be signed by the person who recommended them. So you can't, sometimes we get letters of recommendation written on like Note for the Note app for the iPhone. And I get those on email. That will not work. It has to be actual letter of recommendation written by an instructor, somebody that knows you well, a former teacher, employer, or a coach, and they have to have the signature of the student. Please make sure and I know that this is not going to happen here, but I do run into issues with agents sending me literally the same recommendation letter for two different students. Please make sure. And then when I push back and I say, hey, I got the same recommendation letter for two different students, all I hear is, I'm sorry, we didn't read the recommendation letters. Please make sure that your students, that you review the documentation they're sending you, because that'll cut a lot of work from us, and also it will cut a lot of work from you as well. And that's very important, right? Okay. Next, in terms of ESL. So from a bachelor's program, we take IELTS, Duolingo, TOEFL. We also have a BAU placement test here. IELTS is 5.5 for bachelor, 6.0 for graduate. We accept Duolingo too, which is actually the easiest, I think, for a lot of students to take, because they can take it online. You need a 75 score for bachelor. You need a 90 score for graduate. And if students do not meet the requirements, we also have our sister ESL school, which is on campus here, called Mentora College. And they can actually go to Mentora College, take a few ESL classes there, and then transfer to BAU as students. There are some benefits of doing that, and I'll talk more about that in the next slides. Any questions so far on the admissions process?
I can see only one question, but I think that will come, we will cover within our slides, and that is related to CGPA.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we will cover in the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. On the GPA, the GPA basically it's a 2.5. Okay. So they need a 2.5 GPA.
Great. Noted. Thank you.
So application deadlines. We have traditional semesters here, meaning, fall, spring, and summer. And basically what this slide says is, all the documentation and everything needs to be submitted to apply at least 1 month before school starts for the following semester. Okay. Now, we're small, we're nimble, and we'll work with every situation as it arises. We'll deal with, Sheena knows, but we'll deal with any student, any situation as it arises. Okay. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about Mentora. Mentora is our sister ESL school. They're located in the same building with us. Obviously it's the same classrooms and everything else. We have two types of programs, intensive English and semi-intensive English. For all intents and purposes for your students, intensive English is actually the type of program that they will choose, and it's either 5-day a week or 2-day a week. It's $399 a month. That's assuming that they cannot pass the English requirements. Now, there's a benefit to actually starting a Mentora, and the benefit is that once you become a student Mentora, you're automatically part of the BAU network. And when you transfer from Mentora to BAU, you automatically save 35% on your tuition, right? So that $15,900 a month, a year, that's the tuition at BAU, gets reduced by 35%. So it's roughly about $10,500, right? That's a huge savings. And that's our Mentora scholarship program, which automatically gives you a 35% reduction. So when students say, hey, I don't want to waste time going to ESL school, I wanted to get directly to BAU, one of the things you can say is, sure, but if you go to Mentora, improve your English, then when you transfer to BAU, you automatically save 35% on your tuition. And I think that's a huge deal, specifically for a lot of students, whether you're domestic or international. So any questions on that so far before I jump into our education? Okay. One of the most important things about us is that we are very student focused and very student centric. And what I mean by that is we're constantly thinking about how to make sure we improve the quality of education that we provide, not just by adding classes, but also adding activities, extracurricular activities, and different ways to enhance education for our students. Because of location where we are, we do attract a lot of very important people from all over the world, from CEOs to former ambassadors, military personnel, civic leaders. We also have an institute, a policy institute in-house called the GPI, the Global Policy Institute. And they are independent. They do tons of research on political, economical, geographical issues around the world. And every week, we at least have at least one meeting or a webinar with some of the most important people in their areas, in the fields. So our students will have access to, those events, those webinars, or those in-person events, and also will get to broaden their understanding of world issues. Another important thing is because of where we're located, we attract some of the most important people in their fields to actually teach here at our school. So one of the things that I always tell everybody is that we have practitioners, we don't have academics, meaning everybody that teaches here, I shouldn't say everybody, but about 80% of the people that teach here work in different places like Amazon, Google, US government, USAID, Department of Transportation, World Bank, IMF. So when they're actually teaching in class, you're actually getting, real world experience, real world examples. I also teach here at BAU, I teach MBA level marketing and management classes. And I can tell you from my own perspective as well, I actually I don't choose academic books to teach my classes, but I actually choose books that I've read that I really like to actually teach my classes. So it's not all about, what does this book say and what is, this format or that format of learning, but it's really, things that I've run into in my own life and in my own career, so that when you get out of work, when you get out of school, you don't feel like you have to learn your job from the beginning because you've learned from all the experience of your teachers here. And I think that's invaluable. The other thing is we are, a global institution. It says here, we represent 31 different countries. That needs to be updated because we're up to 48 right now. But my goal is to make it 128 different nationalities, and we're definitely on a strong path to making it, global education here. We have a small class size, and that's very important the way we teach. We have different areas here like student union. There's different clubs that students can start or participate in, and ultimately they can make it as good of an experience as they want. Again, we did talk a little bit about the work opportunities here. CPT and OPT is available for students. So while they're studying, they have CPT up. And then once they're done with their 4 years or 2 years of education, they have an additional year of OPT where they can work anywhere in the US to improve their skills. We also have co-op programs available. So we're working on a lot of different co-op opportunities as well. Let's talk a little bit about student housing, because when students come in, that's the first thing they want to know. Our student housing is located, I want to say maybe about 2.5 to 3 kilometers away from our building. We actually have a bus that takes you back and forth, takes students back and forth there. And the reason for that, the reason why it's not located in where we are is because, we are right at the heart of US government, right next to the White House. And we're, I think, probably one of the only privately owned non-governmental buildings located where we are. So you can't really build housing there. But one important thing about our housing is that it's not like your traditional, dorms, right? With like rooms in a hallway and then bathrooms at the end. Our housing is actually like condos. So each unit is an apartment in and of itself with washer and dryer inside, so washer and dryer, laundry. They have a kitchen. area. They have a living room area with TVs, flat screen TVs, and also they have a bedroom area. And you can share with 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people. So you can see some pictures here of some of the rooms. I mean, it's state-of-the-art living conditions, wireless internet 24/7. We also have a cleaning crew that comes in every week and cleans up the rooms, you know, so to make sure that the students are being taken care of and their rooms are clean, which is a lot better than what I had when I was going to school, that I had to do my own cleaning. You know, and laundry was at the bottom of the building where we had like 30 units trying to share one washer and dryer. But yeah, so it's definitely state of the art. You know, students are very excited to actually live there. All right, let's talk a little bit about life at BAU, because that's really important. Again, you know, we have a lot of different living areas. So this is actually the park right in front of the White House right here. So students get to spend their, you know, time off, literally just sitting in front of the White House. There's different events that we do. Here are some of the different areas. We have a library. Now, you know, library is more of a study area because, as you all know, everything now is online, and we have access to some of the biggest online global libraries in the world. Different classrooms, different living areas there. We also have different events that we do. So international potluck, karaoke nights, soccer field, a lot of community service, yeah. All right, and that is that for the presentation. Now we'll open it up to any questions that you have.
I must say, very informative session. Thank you so much for this session. All of my partners, those have any queries, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to raise your hands. So yes, any question?
I saw a question which was around the minimum requirement for the master's program. I think it came towards the beginning of the session.
Yes. So basically the session was so interactive. So we have answered already.
Yes.
2.5 CGPA
Yes.
for master's degree.
Yeah, so I mean, from an English perspective, right, you need an IELTS of 6.5 or you need a Duolingo of 90, right? You need a 2.5 GPA to attend a master's program here. Yeah, I mean, those are the requirements. You know, you don't need to have, so for example, if you wanted to do an MBA, you don't need to have a background in business. You know, you can have a degree in dance and, you know, start your MBA. So you don't have to have some type of a prerequisite. One of the things, and I'm not sure how it is in Pakistan, but I know that in India, you know, sometimes when you graduate from undergraduate, that's not enough credits for you to actually attend the MBA. So we've had a couple of situations with students coming in here thinking they're done because they've graduated undergrad there, but then they still had to make up some credits before they actually started the MBA. So, and I want to make sure that that is understood for the students, because they don't want to be in a situation where they're already here and now they're being told, sorry, you're not ready to start your master's program yet. You have to take some more undergraduate classes. We want to avoid that.
So I think in that case, degrees with 3 years undergrad degree, so they will fit in, or maybe 2 years undergrad degree from Pakistan, they will like, you know, they will be eligible for this credit transfer thing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the important things is to make sure that when you you get your transcripts validated, right? And once you get them, you know, officially validated with official results, that should kind of make it clear for all of us, you know, what the situation will be, whether the student will need to take some more classes or not. So that's the important part.
Yes, Amir Suhail, he raised his hand. So you may feel free to please, you can unmute yourself and you can ask, or you may write. So is there any fully funded scholarship for Pakistani students? If they have, then how much percentage required?
So we don't have a specific scholarship for Pakistani students. One, two, you know, if you have your GMAT, GRE scores, SAT scores, ACT scores, and you've scored really, really high, I would apply for the merit-based scholarship, because that gives you the opportunity to get somewhere between, you know, 1 to 100% scholarship, right? However, I think for most students, make sure that when you're applying, select the Hussein Child scholarship, because that gives you up to 25% reduction in scholarships. And again, listen, I really understand, you know, like one of the things that I want to make, you know, important and visible here is that, you know, both Alex and I were not born in the US. You know, I came here as an international student, so I know all of the struggles that, you know, your students will be going through, from the ability to pay, the ability to, you know, get the money needed to make sure that the bank statement shows what it needs to show, and make sure that you make the payment. So we understand those. But also one thing that you guys have to keep in mind is that our tuition is extremely low, right? So it's, if you take the $15,000, right, and you take 20% off of it, right, you're down to about $12,000 a year. Now, compare that to any institution in the US or Canada or Australia or New Zealand for that matter, you'll be paying at least $20,000 per year, right? So to me, you know, obviously everybody wants a free education. Like if I were to pay nothing to go to school, that would be the school that I would choose, right? But at the end of the day, we also want to make sure that students have realistic expectations. You know, I don't want us to be in a situation where, you know, we've given all the scholarships and everything else, and then once they're here, you know, we hear, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the money to pay. Can you give me, you know, I want full scholarship. In that situation, let's make no mistake, just like any other institution, we will cancel the I-20, right? Because at the end of the day, students know and understand that they have to be legally here. And when they sign those documents and they become students here and they get on their airplane, they've made the commitment to be students, not just here at this institution, but at any institution, whether it's in the US, anywhere in the world, right? And that's really important to make sure that students understand. Sorry, I know I gave a very long answer.
No, that's perfectly fine. It was very well explained. So I would like to take another question, and she's asking about, Noreen is asking about IELTS waiver. Is there any IELTS waiver on the basis of English proficiency letter from the university?
I'm sorry, IELTS favor?
Yeah, English proficiency letter.
I'm not sure. I don't understand the favor part. I mean the
IELTS waiver.
Oh, waiver. I thought it was favor.
No, waiver. Yes, there is students who finish 400C or 500C.
Sorry. Yeah. So yes, there are. And Alex actually just kind of gave the answer. If you actually start at Mentora College and you finish a 500C level class, you don't have to take any of the English proficiency exams. From all intents and purposes, from our institution, you're considered efficient, you know, in terms of getting into an undergrad program. To get into a master's program, oh, actually, yeah, with a 500C, you get into both. Yeah, 400 is for, that's right. Thanks for the correction, Alex. 400 is for undergrad, 400C level is for undergrad, and 500C level is for masters.
Plus, I think I have seen Duolingo is also acceptable, which is very, easy to attempt, and student can give that test as well. So
yeah. I will tell you, we're working with an agency out of Chad right now, and they ran, you know, their own kind of language exam, and obviously it wasn't acceptable. So we told all their students to get their Duolingo, and I would say probably about 70% of them, like by next day, they had their Duolingo results. It's online. You just go online, you fill it up, and Yeah. And it's accepted anywhere. I mean, even Harvard accepts Duolingo. So it's yeah.
So one more question, like, what is the timeline for the offer letter? Like, once the students submit the documents, how much time it would take usually to issue one offer letter?
Yeah, so great question. We work very hard to make sure that we give a very quick turnaround. Now, depending on how busy we are, depending on the time of the year, and I know Alex has been actually swamped this semester with work, because Alex is the guy who will, go around and provide the I-20s. You can get the admissions letter. You can get the admissions letter immediately after you complete all your application and your application is reviewed. It's an automatic program that kind of assigns the admissions letter. So you can get that within 48 hours of all your application completed and your application fee paid. Within 48 hours, you'll get the admissions letter. We also, depending on the situation, in terms of the I-20, we work really hard to make sure that we give a 48-hour turnaround on the I-20, but that also depends on, time of the year. That depends on how busy everything is. Obviously, as school is ramping up, semester is starting, we're very busy. So you should give about 3 to 5 days for your I-20 to be delivered.
I can see one more question here. So let me see, what is it? If someone has BS from Pakistan, then they will allow to study in postgraduate or undergrad. So BS from Pakistan is like 4 years. So I believe the student will be eligible for postgrad. Please, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the answer is yes. Yeah. So if you have your bachelor's from Pakistan and you have transcripts, officially validated, then absolutely there's no reason for you not to attend your master's. And you have the requirement credit hours, undergraduate credit hours. There's absolutely no reason for you to attend. Cool. Well, I'm here. I don't know. Let me see if there's any more questions. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. I don't know if you ladies have any more questions. But we're here. Alex is here as well. What I'll do is I'll provide my contact information, my email address. If you have any questions, either send me an email. I'll CC Sana or Sheena in those emails and those responses, or the best way to do it, because sometimes I may, I'm not very good at keeping track of my emails. Alex knows. And so the best thing to do is contact Sana directly, or contact, and Sana will contact Sheena, or I don't know, what your system is, but send me a long list of questions and we'll all, answer those questions. Again, one other important thing is I am available to talk about BAU any time of the day or night, anywhere. So if you have a class of students that you want to talk to and you need me in that presentation, absolutely do let me know, and I'll be there. Answer directly questions to all your students. Again, I look at you guys as an extension of my team. And if you guys are successful, I'm successful, and I get to keep my job. I'm joking, but yeah, I'm here. I'm available, whatever you guys need from me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. In the end, I would like to introduce my very new colleague who recently joined us. His name is Zalan Katak, and he is aggressively looking after this US market in Pakistan. and he will shortly get in touch with all participants and those who registered but unable to join us today for any other reason. He will get in touch with you. So let's have a contract. Let's promote Bay Atlantic University. I've seen beautiful courses, scholarships. Plus, there's a very beautiful course like a cyber security course, which is a master's degree. I feel that course is like very much sellable in Pakistan market, because yes, there is a demand for this product. Fee structure is very, very reasonable. Plus, along with the scholarship. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Thank you for being here.
One thing, and this is, we don't have to talk about this here, we can talk about it offline. One thing what I would like to do is, what I'm trying to do now is, I'm looking at all the different countries that we're focused in, specifically with MSN. I want to make sure that we have some type of a target number in terms of students per semester, right? It doesn't have to be written in stone, but it kind of gives me an idea of, what are we doing from an application standpoint? What are we doing from an admission standpoint? And what are we doing from, finally, students here in class standpoint? One of the things that, is going to be my priority now is, and Sheena and I have talked about this, is that we're very good at focusing on the semester at hand and making sure we go through those applications. But the problem with that is that, applications keep coming for other semesters, and we want to make sure that we don't leave those applications undone. That's an area that we need to work on. So we want to make sure that when we sit together and draft a plan, we don't do a plan for spring of 2020. We do a plan for spring, summer, and fall of 2022, right? So we kind of have an idea of what's happening, what students are applying for where, what applications we need to focus on, so that we can work with our team as well and make sure that we handle applications as they come, but not strictly because right now is the priority this semester and let's skip everything else that's coming, right? So.
Makes sense. And you will also see a lot of promotion from Pakistan region. You will see logos and everything in Pakistan region.
Love it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Brand it.
Looking forward to it. It's a huge market, and I think we'll do a good job together, guys.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Georgie, Alex, and for organizing this. I think it's really nice, and it's always good to hear about BAU, and we're very happy, that every session is very interesting about, BAU, and it's really nice that we have started this with Pakistan, and then I'm going to be obviously, discussing with you on how we can take things forward for all the other regions that we are tied up with, and we are hoping for the next year that we have a lot of applications coming from India, Pakistan, Nepal, from Vietnam, from Africa. So you have from everywhere, you have students coming, and you'll have that number for sure. Yeah.
All right, maybe Alex and I will come see you guys in Pakistan.
Please do visit. Please, you will find us the best host.
All right, looking forward to it. Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good day. Bye.